Warning, the following show will spoil the hell out of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books and the TV show A Game of Thrones. Also, you're probably going to find a fuck ton of bad language. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies.
Welcome back to the Ironwood Network Book Club. I'm your host, Maester Ironwood. Here with me, as always, is Septa Ironwood. Septa, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good today.
Doing pretty good. It's rainy.
That's okay.
At least it's not snowing again.
Yeah, we had snow over the weekend. It was really not right.
No, it's May, and we were getting snow. Like a blizzard squall of snow.
Yeah.
Like,
not necessary.
no, completely unnecessary. We weren't even in the north with any of our chapters.
Right.
And yeah, we had winter, so. Anyway, it's raining today. It's semi-warm.
It's
just about 60.
decent.
It's just about 60. So.
Well, I don't know what it is now because we just had that rain front come through.
Yeah, we had a cold front come through, so it's probably like 50. Mm-hmm. But still, it's better than 30.
Yes.
So, we'll take it.
Yep.
Still quarantined.
Yes.
Still on lockdown here in New York. Forever and ever and ever.
Yes, for quite a while.
Permanently, no doubt about it. Neighbors building something outside in the rainstorm.
Yeah.
Good for him, I guess.
Her,
I guess.
Well, she's paying some guy to do it, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody's out there working in the torrential downpour.
Yep. All
right. Well, other than that, Septa, what are we here to talk about today?
The Mad Queen.
The Mad Queen.
Cersei.
I thought we were talking about Once Upon a Time or something.
No,
okay.
she's nuts.
She is nuts. Cersei is going bonkers.
Yeah.
Interesting chapter. There's only one real part that I cared about at all.
Which part was that?
You know.
Beginning, middle, or end?
You know.
Beginning, middle, or end?
My favorite part was the middle.
Okay.
And then the other two parts were distant seconds.
Okay.
So. Because it was a lesbian scene, but a really weird lesbian scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Daenerys lesbian scenes were much better.
Yeah.
Than this one. But anyway. We jump ahead. Not really digress, but jump ahead.
Yeah.
So before you give us a synopsis of what the fuck happened in this nightmare.
Yeah.
I do have a haiku. Okay. Focused around my favorite part of the chapter.
Okay.
Of course. Single combat champ. He ain't no common sellsword. The new Lord Stokeworth.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that happening a mile away.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. Any news I can get on Bronn, I'm excited for.
Yes. You do that.
Since I would rather have him riding around the Riverlands with Jaime, being in the story a lot more.
Yeah, I did like Bronn in the TV show a lot more than...
He doesn't do much. He doesn't do much in the books, unfortunately. Yeah. You know, there's not too much going on for him, so...
Yeah. Just
kind of a bummer. Because, yeah. Because my first read-through of the books, he was a minor character. And then and then after that, I watched the TV show, and he became like a front and center character in my mind. And now it's back to the books, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I want him to be so much more like he was in the show.
Yeah.
But, alas, it is not to be.
No, it's not.
But we do need a synopsis, Septa.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Tell us what happens.
So, it's the middle of the night in the throne room. Everyone's there except for Tommen, because no one wakes up the king, I guess. Word has been sent that the Ironborn had taken the Four Shields.
Yep.
So Marjorie is pleading with Cersei to send help.
Yep, which is weird because Marjorie's the fucking queen.
Yes, but nothing happens without Cersei say so.
Right.
Cersei doesn't want to help. Doesn't want to call Marjorie's men back from Dragonstone and Storm's End.
There you go.
So there's a lot of hostility going on here. It ends with Loras offering to go and storm Storm's End on his own. Dragonstone. So that Highgarden's men can go and help defend the shield.
Yep.
Because Cersei has it in her mind that this is Stannis' doing.
Yes.
And not the Ironborn's doing.
Well, the Ironborn through Stannis.
Well, right.
Or Stannis through the Ironborn.
Yes. Which is not the case.
No.
So basically that ends with Sir Loras agreeing to leave tomorrow to go
Yep.
Do it himself.
Well, okay, so by him...
Yeah, he'll have some men.
He'll have a lot of men, but he'll be the leader.
Yes. And Cersei's like, oh, yay, maybe he'll die and I don't have to deal with his shit.
Right.
So she leaves to go back to her room. It has a conversation with Quyburn about some armor that was ordered.
Really huge, heavy armor.
Yes. She goes to bed. She has a lady in her bed.
Yeah, her lady Tiana.
Yeah, Tiana. Before she falls asleep, there's another knock at her door.
Yep.
It is Lady... What's the family's name? Stokeworth. Who looks like she's been beaten up quite a bit.
Yes.
Says that her husband tried to kill Bronn.
As Cersei recommended.
Yeah, well, not as Cersei recommended. Cersei said to kill him, but this was not the way in which she wanted him killed. And Bronn won. Yeah. Punched the lady in the face and told her to get out. Yep. So now Bronn has the Stokeworth lands right now in his property. Yep. Since
technically Lawless has them.
Yeah, but it's him because Lawless is too simple.
Betty, right? Yeah, exactly.
Cersei says that she's gonna go work for Quyburn now. Yep. Which is bad.
Well, she's not gonna go work for Quyburn,
but she doesn't know that.
Right, Quyburn was asking for women to experiment on, and
yes.
Oh, here's one for you.
Yep, because she doesn't want word getting out. Yep. So she goes back to bed and basically gets her bed made off, and that's it.
Yeah, has some naked time with Tiana. Yeah. Or Tiana, or whatever, however you say her name. Tiana, I think.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Or Taina. Yeah. However you say it. Yep, and that's it. Yeah, so there's a few things to talk about here. Yes. So let's start with the big elephant in the room, and that is the attack that we read a few chapters back in the Reaver. Yes. Has now made its way to King's Landing. Yes. Marjorie and Loras's brothers, Willis and Garland, sent them word of what had happened and asking for more men. Because all of their good men and their fleet is down at Dragonstone. And Storm's End. Yeah. Sieging those two places. Yes. Yes. So they don't have enough men to fight off the Ironborn. Right. Cersei could give two shits less. Yes. So here's my Marjorie is queen. Yes. Tommen is king. While I get Cersei is the regent, she's not actually queen. Right. So why is everyone listening to her instead of doing what Marjorie says? Because of this. Because Cersei is the regent. Yes. Now, there are two people who speak with the king's voice. Yes. There's the king. Yeah. And there's the hand. Yes. Now, until the king is of age, the regent also assumes that role as well and can speak for the king. Because there's no hand right now. Correct. But also, even if there was a hand, the regent still... A lot of times, the hand will be the regent. Okay. Just to make it simpler. Right. As to who to follow. We don't have a real hand right now. Right. So, as the regent... And honestly, we don't have a real regent either. But well, we do. She's not... She's just batshit crazy. Well, yeah, she's nuts. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, but she's still the regent. And so, therefore... Right, because, like, just by being queen, when the line goes through the men, that doesn't allow Marjorie to rule anything. Right. It's like with the current British monarchy. There's the queen,
Yeah.
Her husband isn't even the king.
Right.
Because he's not from the royal family.
Right.
He's actually a duke.
Right.
And therefore has no ruling authority whatsoever.
Okay.
Only the queen does.
Right.
So the same would apply to Marjorie. She's not technically from the royal family. So even if Tommen were of age, she wouldn't be allowed to give orders. They would have to come
From
her to either Tommen or the Hand and then be given.
Right.
Because she's the queen, but a queen technically without power.
Right.
That's why Cersei always had to go to Robert and have him do the things that she wanted to do.
Right.
She couldn't just demand that Ned Stark kill Lady. She had to get Robert to say it in order for it to become something that would happen.
Right.
So the same applies to Marjorie. So therefore, technically, Cersei as regent still has more power than Marjorie does, which is why they're listening to her.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's convoluted and complicated as royalty always is.
All right.
So that's why they're listening to Cersei, because technically speaking, without a hand, she's in charge. She has the voice of the king.
Okay.
So that's that.
Even though she doesn't think it's the voice of the king, it's her rule, her...
Right, exactly. Yeah. So legally, she has the voice of the king. In her own mind, she has her own voice, and then she's the actual one that's ruling.
Yep.
She is the almighty powerful queen.
Yes.
Even though there is no almighty powerful queen right now, there's Marjorie,
yes,
who's the actual queen. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's why they're deferring to Cersei, and that's why even Marjorie has to go and get Cersei to command things.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also, if you look at who's on the small council, they're not who's on this. They're all handpicked by Cersei.
Yes, but even Cersei says right now they're all fucking useless.
Right, but there's no Marjorie supporters on there.
Yes.
So therefore, like Marjorie couldn't even get the small because the small council could also do things.
Right.
But there's no Marjorie supporters on there.
Yes,
so there's
they
not
were
enough.
all removed.
Yes. So there are some people who think that, we need to defend the four shields in the Mander River, but not enough on there to make it a law. Right. So we're stuck with Cersei being our line of defense against attacks on the realm.
Yep, and she could care less. She really has she's like, let them take Highgarden. She doesn't care.
No, because she hates the Tyrells.
Yes.
100% hates the Tyrells. So she doesn't give a shit.
She's not thinking properly because if she lets that happen and Highgarden falls, there's going to be a huge issue because that is the rightful queen's home.
Not just that. The Highgarden rules over the Reach.
Yes.
The Reach is where 80% of the realm's food comes from.
Yes.
If you lose that, then 80% of your people are going to starve.
And she is not thinking about this.
She's not. No, she's thinking about her conspiracies in her head.
Yes.
And how she hates the Tyrells, and the Tyrells are all conspired against her, and how Stannis and the Ironborn are conspired against her. And somehow the Northmen are on her side because she believes the Manderleys sent her the fucking Onion Knight's head. So
or said that was the Onion Knight on the wall.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's got all these conspiracy theories in her head, which are definitely affecting the way she's ruling.
Yes.
I wonder if she doesn't have something like syphilis or, like the crazy shit that she's doing. Like
maybe a brain tumor like King Henry did?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
King Henry would be right about the time that George's model war, the War of the Roses, was going on. And that's, the war that he used for the Lannisters and the Starks. So it's entirely possible.
And he was an alcoholic, but he had no pain.
Right, exactly.
And she's an alcoholic, and now she's gone fucking crazy.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible that she is kind of like a Henry VIII stand-in almost. Yeah.
Are you surprised I knew that?
A little bit, to be honest with you, yes. But you probably watched like the Tudors or something.
Rain.
Okay, Rain. There you go. I like the Tudors because there's actual boobies in that one.
There's boobies in Rain, too.
Is there? Yeah. No, because it was an on-TV show.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Tudors is one that has boobies.
That's true.
Including Marjorie's boobies.
Yeah. That's true.
But, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit you knew Henry VIII, but...
Yeah.
Rock on. All right. So that's the position we're left in, is the realm is under attack, and fucking Nero is just sitting in King's Landing drinking wine and playing her fucking harp while the fucking world burns.
Yeah.
Is what we have. Because she doesn't understand anything.
And she doesn't care. Because she doesn't see anything that's in it for her. Because if there's nothing in it for her, she doesn't care, regardless of how it affects everyone else she takes care of.
Right, yeah. So she's playing Nero, and she's playing her fiddle while Rome burns around her.
Yes.
And she's probably going to continue that for this book, the next book, and I would assume until fucking Fagon kills her at some point. Yeah. I'm 100% convinced Fagon will take King's Landing. He'll be the one to do that.
Okay.
And so therefore, if Cersei's going to die, it's probably going to be at his hands, or John Connington's hands, but under Fagon's direct control. So.
We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully they're smart enough to kill her.
Right.
And not, just lock her up or something.
Right.
We'll see what happens, but yeah, so we're stuck with Cersei basically commanding the response to the attacks on the realm.
And she's like, I'm not going to give you anything.
Yeah. Not even your own men.
Yeah. You can't have your men back. They're doing something for me.
Right. And that's, the worst part, right? They're not even, they're the Reach's men. They're Highgarden's men, and Highgarden can't even use them. They can't use the Red Wine fleet, which is the only fleet capable of fighting against the Ironborn. Can't use that.
Because supposedly there's 1,000 ships.
Yeah. And they... so she tells him, use the party barges and shit that you guys have for the rich people. That's going to get anything done against the Ironborn.
Yeah, exactly. Use your skiffs and your floats and
Right, and she doesn't understand how they could have come. She doesn't understand Euron's tactics.
Doesn't care to understand.
Well, she doesn't understand Euron's tactic, right? That he went out to sea and then came
Marjorie
back in.
got it right.
Marjorie figured it out, but she doesn't put any faith in what Willis and Garland say.
Yeah.
So
because that's just too stupid to even think that someone would do that.
Right. So they're obviously asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
And missed the Iron Fleet coming down the coast when they didn't come down the coast at all.
Right.
So she's got all these misconceptions
in
her head because of her built-in misconceptions about the people that she's feuding with.
Yes.
And she always compares herself to Tywin and how much better a thing she is than Tywin because she's stacked her cabinet with all these yes people.
Yes.
Whereas Tywin would actually put dissenting voices.
Yes. Like
Pycelle.
Right,
or Kevin, who could actually come up with actual ideas that may not be the same as Tywin, and at least it would give him a different option.
And right now, Pycelle's the only person that isn't a yes man.
Right, and so Cersei just completely ignores him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she thinks he's outlived his usefulness.
Yes. Which, even Tywin, when he put Tyrion in charge, because he may have hated Tyrion, but he understood that Tyrion was the only one of his children that was worth a shit as far as ruling went.
Yes.
He had hope for Jaime. Yeah. He had zero hope for Cersei.
Because she has a vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even that. I think he understands that she's nuts.
Right.
And Kevin was the same way. He didn't like any of them, but he accepted that Tyrion had good ideas.
Yes.
He accepted that Jaime probably could have good ideas if he allowed himself to be a ruler.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with Cersei because, again, she's useless to everybody except herself.
Right.
And so things are getting worse and worse and worse. And she's literally just lives in her own little bubble now.
Yes.
Where
everyone's out to get her.
Exactly. Everybody's out to get her. The only person looking out for her is her. Mm-hmm. And Quyburn. But even she reminds him, cross me once and you're...
Yeah.
So, fuck.
Yeah.
So nothing good is going to come of Cersei's time on the throne. At all. Well, she can't sit on the throne. Her time next to the throne.
Yeah. She's got a really fancy chair below the Iron Throne.
Yeah, she reminds me of... Denethor, Boromir's dad.
Steward,
yeah, the steward.
Yeah,
he can't sit on the throne, so he has this little chair down below it, I'm in charge. Yeah. At least her chair is fancier than his.
Yeah,
because his was just stone.
So she gets up to leave because
she's done with this shit.
She's not going to help them, and then Sir Loras gets in her face, bows, begs for help, and says, "Let me go command at Dragonstone. I will have it down in a fortnight, and let me send my men home to help."
Yep. And her response in her mind was, "At least this one's smart enough to beg."
Yeah.
Oh, Cersei.
I freaking hate her thinking. I really do. So she's like, all of a sudden she's like, "Oh yeah, hey, you begs. Here, go for it. Go. Yep, take my finest ship and go die."
Yeah, and right, and that's because she knows who's commanding at Dragonstone.
Yes.
And she knows that he will fucking utterly slaughter Loras.
Yes.
And probably kill him.
Yes.
So either he comes home
a loser, or he dies or gets maimed. Yeah.
Either way, he's basically out of the picture.
Yes.
And
because he doesn't think he can actually do it.
Right.
I think he can, though.
I think you can. I think you can.
I think he can.
Si se puede.
Si se puede. Si se puede. Si se puede.
So Loras is going to take the Queen Cersei and sail for Dragonstone with...
Sweet Cersei, I think it's...
Oh, it's Queen Cersei.
Oh. I thought it was Sweet Cersei.
Oh,
but that's fine.
He's going to sail for Dragonstone with some men, and he's going to take command, and he's going to break the siege and break into the castle and take it for the realm.
Yes.
We'll see how that works out.
I hope it works out.
What you got your money on?
Sir Loras.
You got your money on Sir Loras?
Yes.
All right. It's a good guess.
I haven't read too far ahead at this point. I've caught up to where I was.
Pretty much.
So
you don't have too much knowledge beyond here.
I don't have any knowledge beyond here.
Okay. Yep. So we'll see how it goes for Sir Loras.
Yep.
Again, Sir Loras is one of the greatest knights in the realm. He's a great leader. He inspires men.
Yep.
And he's also not afraid to get into the fight himself.
Yes.
He leads from the front like Robert did.
Yes.
He will lead the battle.
Yes.
So, that's a lot going for you on your side.
Yes.
Especially at this time where really it was all about inspiring your men to follow you and to fight and die for you. So he's got a lot of that on his side. People love him. Mm-hmm. He's well trained at arms. So we'll see how that goes for him. So after Cersei leaves...
Marjorie's mortified.
Yeah, so Marjorie, of course, because, no matter how good you are, going into battle is always a 50-50 chance. You either die or you don't. Yeah, you either die or you don't. It all comes down to 50-50 chance. You die or you don't. So,
yeah. And Marjorie hasn't often been far from her brother. Mm-hmm. So they're very close. I wouldn't say they're as close as Jaime and Cersei were.
No, not even close.
But they could be twins at this point.
Right.
And they're...
Well, think about it. It's been years, right?
Yeah.
They were raised together.
Yeah.
When she went to marry Renly, he went and joined Renly's Rainbow Guard. Yeah. And then when she went and married Tommen, he went and joined Tommen's White Guard.
Yeah, they're very close.
So they've always been together.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like Jon Snow and Arya.
Yes.
Yep. So, Marjorie's terrified. Cersei thinks it's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. Give her something to worry about.
She summons Quyburn and Pycelle to follow her out and leave everybody else just awestruck at what's going on. Yeah. Essentially. And
Pycelle is trying to talk her out of it.
Yeah.
She makes note of how Pycelle freaked out when she told him of her agreement with the new High Septon.
Yeah.
And he freaked out and tried to explain to her why it was in place, and she has absolutely no cares.
Yep.
None.
Stupid.
Yes.
Stupid.
Yes. Pycelle, as much as I hate Pycelle, he is a voice of reason.
Yes.
To anybody who's sitting on the iron chair or supporting who's on the iron chair.
Right. Yeah.
So I may not like him as a person or as a character. I may not like some things he says, but that's the point of having someone who's not a yes man.
Right. He's as trustworthy as a Maester gets.
To a point, yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As a Maester gets.
Yeah.
Probably there are a few exception Maesters that I would trust implicitly.
Maester.
Amen. But even Maester Lewin, I wouldn't, because Maester Lewin says he's all against magic and doesn't believe it exists.
But dies in front of a heart.
Right, uses his last breath to make sure he dies in front of a heart tree next to the black water. Like,
yes.
What are you not telling us there, dickface?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Obviously something more is going on that you don't want to lead us onto.
Exactly.
So, especially with the heart tree, he's from the south.
Yeah.
Makes it even
From
more
the
confusing.
seven-pointed star, yeah.
So it makes it even more confusing.
Yeah.
But like I said,
well, there are some secrets Maesters are not allowed to reveal.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
That's why they have a big locked vault of documents that don't leave the locked vault. It's like the Vatican archives.
Yeah.
So, I would love to get into both of them and read both of them.
Yeah.
And see what's down there.
I'd rather go to the Citadel. I don't want to deal with the Vatican.
The Vatican's got to have cool shit down in their fucking archives. Are you kidding me?
I don't want to deal with the piousness of the people there.
Probably not as many uber pious people as you would imagine. You're talking about, like, literally a lot of, like, the inner working people are going to be, like, your bureaucrats from, like, a modern government, right? The people who, like, don't have a side.
Right.
You're going to have just a lot of bureaucrats that are there for whom it's a job.
Okay.
So, but, yeah. All right. So, the next thing that happens is Cersei arrives back at her quarters, her cell or whatever.
Her room.
Yep. And she goes and lays down with Lady Tiana, or however you pronounce her name. Mm-hmm. Her lady in waiting.
Yes.
And
from the Summer Isle, right?
Yep.
Dark-skinned.
Yep, from Myr.
Yep.
And they're awakened by banging on the door.
Yes. She didn't get to fall asleep quite.
Yep. And Lady Stokeworth, Lawless's mom, is here to see her. She looks like she's been beat up because she has. Yep. And they have a quick conversation where hysterically Lady Stokeworth talks about how her husband had challenged Bronn to single combat.
Yeah, with a lance.
Yeah, on sword because fighting with a lance is a knight's job, and Bronn was no knight, so obviously he didn't stand a chance. Right. But of course, we understand that Bronn always has a chance.
Yes, he's a dirty fighter. So he, instead of going for the shield, he took out the horse. Yes. The horse landed on Lord Stokeworth.
Broke his legs.
Had him pinned down.
Yep.
Lady Stokeworth went to help him. Bronn punched her in the face.
Yep.
Made her stand there and watch as he stabbed Lord Stokeworth through the eye and demanded who ordered him to be killed. Yep. So he gave up the information and then he was killed.
Yep. And then Lady Stokeworth was told she was leaving.
Yep.
She couldn't even collect her clothes because they belonged to the new Lady of Stokeworth. Yep. Which is Lawless. Yes. So she's there basically with everything she owns now. Yep. Begging at Cersei. Yes. Cersei pretends that she's going to take care of her and that she actually gives a shit.
Yeah, because all she can think about is, shit, I can't let this information get out.
Right. Because Bronn is dangerous.
Yes. Because now she admits she never really thought that Tyrion was hiding below the floors at the Stokeworth mansion.
Right. She knew that wasn't true.
Yeah.
But she just wanted to play these guys to get rid of Bronn just because Bronn had ties to Tyrion. Yes. And anything with ties to Tyrion should be dealt with. Yes. And she knew that they would not be able to kill Bronn in a straight up fight.
Right. Because so that's why she wanted a hunting accident.
Right, an accident.
But Bronn would have even known that. If they've never gone hunting together before, Bronn's going to know that this is going to be the exact thing what happened to Robert.
Yeah, Bronn, exactly. Bronn would have made sure that he was always behind Lord Stokeworth instead of the other way around. Yeah, exactly. So there was no way. But it was even dumber to try to do it in single combat against Bronn. Yes. And that just shows how much this guy did not understand or know Bronn. Yes. Because there are few people in this story who I say could probably defeat Bronn in single combat. Right. I could probably name him on one hand. Jon Snow.
John Connington?
No, I don't think so.
Arthur Dayne?
Well, Arthur Dayne / Mance Rayder.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. I would say possibly Ser Jorah.
Okay.
Possibly Ser Jorah. That's a iffy one.
What about Sir Loras?
No, because Sir Loras would fight clean.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would be his undoing. The only other one is possibly Grey Worm.
I could see that.
Grey Worm versus
Fight's
Bronn
sturdy, too.
would be an interesting fight because they both learn to fight like street fighters.
Yes.
The Unsullied will do what needs to be done.
Yes.
So he's probably my number one guaranteed could kill Bronn. I think it'd be a good fight.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a really good fight. But he's my number one. There's probably a 95% chance that Grey Worm wins that fight. It would still be a hell of a fight. It lasts a lot longer than a knife fight usually does. If he were still alive, I'd even give the Red Viper a pretty decent shot at it, but he's dead. And then, of course, there's Robert the Strong, but he's literally an undead monster, so I don't think he counts.
Right. Who's Robert the Strong?
Well, that's what the mountain comes back as in a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like an undead monster. That's what that big armor's for.
Yes, I knew that, but I didn't know they called him Robert.
Yeah, Robert the Strong. I didn't give him a name.
So they name him after the dead king?
Yeah. Robert the Strong. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely Bronn is up there in my top 5 fighters as far as surviving goes. Jaime in his prime
But
with 2 hands
prime anymore.
probably would have given Bronn a run for his money.
Right.
Which is why I think he never actually fought
What about
with
Brienne?
Bronn. No, because Brienne fights with honor too much.
Yeah, that's true.
She gets herself into trouble by always trying to do the honorable thing, which is why Jaime had to rescue her.
Gotcha. Yep.
Because she fights clean. It's the same problem that Loras would have.
Okay.
Whereas, probably, I think Ned Stark might have even had that problem if he fought Bronn, because, again, Ned Stark didn't like to do dishonorable things. So.
All right.
Yep.
So, what does Cersei decide to do with Lady Stokeworth?
So, Maester Quyburn is very interested in learning about the human body and how it works.
Yes.
And so he's already studied as much as he can from dead bodies.
Yes.
So he needs to study living bodies and how the human dies in order to understand how it lives.
Yes.
So he's been looking for volunteers.
Yes.
For his scientific research.
Yes. Down
in the black cells.
Yeah.
Where women come down.
And never come back.
And never come back up.
Why just women, though?
That's the only ones we hear of. There might be men. You never know. But anyway, probably because it's easier to rape women. I don't know.
Especially if they're chained to a table.
Right, exactly. So, remember what happened to Septa, what's her name?
In the TV show?
Yeah, Septa Unella.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to Lady Stokeworth.
No good.
No bueno. Absolutely no bueno. So she will be dead. Mm-hmm. And not quickly enough, and not painlessly enough.
Right.
She's essentially going to get tortured until she dies at the hands of Quyburn.
Or Robert the Strong.
Or both. So, yeah. So that's what's going to happen to her. That she doesn't know about that yet. So yeah, let's not even talk about it, because we don't need to talk more about that. The last little bit that we need to talk about is Cersei and her handmaiden.
Yes. Now, this scene is very disturbing to me because the description makes me think that Cersei is trying to feel that whatever feeling Robert felt whenever he would constantly rape her.
Right, she's right. So this is where Cersei's trying to, right? Because so she's always used sex as a power thing.
Yes.
Against Jaime to keep him under her will. But this is where she's trying to really feel like the actual power of it, of having somebody like basically at your mercy.
Right.
And that's what she's trying to feel. So that I think it's almost a way of.
Well, because with Jaime, there were always emotions involved.
Right.
So, in some level, it was always consensual.
Absolutely.
But here, she's like trying to pretend it's not.
Well, and right. She wants it to not be because she wants to feel that power.
Right.
Which is things that they talk about with rapists where it's not about the sex for them.
It's about the power.
All about the power. That power over another human being.
Yes.
And that's what Robert had over her.
Right.
And that's what she wants to have over somebody else, at least one time.
Right.
And I think that Lady Tiana screws it up for her.
Because she was willing.
Yeah, she's 100. Like, she seems like she's a fucking BDSM freak.
Yeah.
Who's like, do your damnedest, bitch. Go
Yeah.
for it. The pain feels good. Mm-hmm. You know, like, she wants to be tied up and whipped a little bit before they get down to business or whatever.
Right.
So that kind of robs Cersei of that agency she's looking for.
Right.
So I don't know how well that's going to play out for Lady Tiana.
Right.
Because that, like, she's not able now to give Cersei what Cersei really wants.
Right.
So I don't know how that's going to work in her favor or disfavor as far as the
I'm
queen
not sure
goes.
because according to the book, she faked an orgasm, which Cersei never did.
Yep.
And then she proceeded to ask Cersei what she wanted done back in return.
And Cersei's like, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cersei knows that now that she won't be able to do it to her again because she knows she's willing.
Yeah.
So she'll never have that feeling that Robert had. So I don't know what's going to happen to Lady Tiana.
Yeah. Well, this was a very disturbing scene.
Yeah. Well, think about it, right? I mean, essentially, you've got Cersei trying to emulate the mind of a rapist.
Yes.
So, yes, extremely dark. Mm-hmm. I mean, George wrote it very well.
Yeah.
You literally feel like you're right there. Mm-hmm. And the thoughts are disturbing, to say the least. So, but, yeah. It's a good end to the chapter, but it's a creepy end to the chapter.
It's a very creepy end, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was well written, came off well, definitely brought you into the page, or brought the page out of the page, whichever you want to go.
I tried not to get too involved in it.
Yeah. I mean, this was like watching some of like the darkest BDSM porn you could find on Pornhub. Like the categories that nobody goes to.
Yeah.
Or like very few people go to.
Right. Well,
that's what the ending to this chapter was.
Well, I've always, like, if it's, like, I get that Lady Tiana was willing, but if she hadn't have been willing, I don't think I could have read it.
Right. Yeah, this was definitely pushing on snuff film territory.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this was never in the TV show either.
No, this little bit was not. Yeah, of all the extra rape that they put in the TV show, the actual one they left out. Mm-hmm. So, go figure.
Yeah.
But either way, that's how the chapter ends. And then we jump into I think Jaime's next.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I don't really think I have anything too much more to talk about with this one.
I don't either.
We do need to give it a title. I saw you jot down a couple of things.
Si se puede.
Si se puede. I had another idea.
What's yours?
Mine is Cerspiracies abound. As in C-E-R spiracies abound.
No, I like si se puede.
Si se puede. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with si se puede.
I don't know how to spell it.
I know you don't. I do, however. I took many a year of Spanish.
I took French.
Took many a year of Spanish and went to Spain, so I know how to spell si se puede. Plus, I watched Barack Obama commercials.
Right.
In 2007.
I know how to say it. I can't spell it.
Yeah. All right. So that ends this terrifying chapter.
Yep.
Up next is Jaime.
Yes.
So that'll be on Friday. I don't have any idea what's after that one.
Nope.
I didn't look ahead. On Thursday, look for the next episode of our sports movie podcast, where this time I didn't make Alicia watch a sports movie. She made me watch one that I had never seen. I knew it existed. I just never watched
and I
it.
picked an obnoxious one on purpose.
Here's how bad it was. I was hoping she would pick Bring It On. Because strangely enough, I actually like Bring It On.
Yeah, I like
I've never seen any of the sequels, but I've seen the original Bring It On several times, and I actually like it. And if it's on cable, like some random afternoon, I'll actually stop and watch it.
Yeah.
But she did not pick Bring It On. What did you pick to make me watch?
Space Jam.
Fucking Space Jam. So I get to sit there for an hour and a half listening to music of a child rapist who pees on people. So that's going to be fantastic.
Well, when I was a kid, I really liked it. But
Well, we're going to see if it holds up.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to watch it again. I'm going to have to watch it for the first time.
You will hear me many times quoting the movie as it goes.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking forward to Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
You'll get through it just fine.
I'm sure I'll get through it, but yes, I'm looking forward to Bill Murray because I'm a huge Bill Murray fan.
Yes, you are.
And it's literally the only Bill Murray movie that I've never seen.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
Because he has some classics. 100% classics. Including my favorite Bill Murray movie.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Groundhog Day?
Yes! Groundhog Day. So good. So good. All right. So until we catch you guys again on Friday, go to the website, give us a like, leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you listen to the podcast. And we'll catch you in the next episode, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.